Hi, everybody. This is 1,235 days, counting, um, since Richard was retaliated, retaliated continuously and severely for not wanting to join in on the Vanity Fair on the game that they play, the criminal gang game, the sex cult, the taking advantage of the El Pasoans, the American taxpayer, Fort Bliss, our military installation, and all the service members, the volunteer sons and daughters that serve there. Uh, Absolutely the majority that go there and uh, discover discover everyone that I've talked to, that there is a chain of command that is operating outside of the bounds of the law. And, that's not me saying that. That's not me alleging that. That is so many witnesses, including a big one that we're going to talk about today. So let me make sure I'm on Facebook and what that all means. There's incredible things going on. Okay, here we are. Good evening, Danielle. I see you. And Danielle and Anicia, thank you so much for coming on. Okay, so lots of breaking news. And I wanted to talk, first of all, about Thomas Kane. Thomas Kane is the, was, and I want to say is the Director of Emergency Services and the Chief of Security of Fort Bliss during most of the time of this case. And it's just been recently that the heat really got so bad that he had to jump out and, you know, but you can't really just do it and witness what he did and what he witnessed, and not have to answer for it, right? Not have to be held accountable because of the breaches of security. I mean, that was his job, was to secure that military installation, which means to secure all of our most valuable assets, meaning our volunteer sons and daughters. And when the DES, when the chief of security uh, of Fort Bliss betrays his duty and betrays the security of Fort Bliss, and you have soldiers being hurt left and right, and even lives ending. Let's see if I can get that camera a little bit. Okay, but the lives ending. It is very serious crimes, and I will allege, um, you know, with 100% um, conviction that he was involved in a criminal conspiracy, a criminal syndicate, right there on Fort Bliss. I will definitely allege that. Seemingly, apparently, absolutely, there is no doubt in my mind. We have it confirmed that he was very close to Leilani Hart, very close to Anne Ogle, very close to Claudia Guerra. All of them up to no good. And has, like Anna Whitehead of Park University coming out to bat for him when they are clearly willing to commit crimes in order to cover up something, right? To cover up something. So, yeah, it is very clear when you have someone that important betray and put so many lives at risk. There has to be oversight and accountability. And we have audio of him. Um, Team 5 Richard Halliday has audio of him uh, confirming the status of Richard. And it wasn't in a very nice way. It was, yeah, he was a good meal for the coyotes. And more. This audio has, confirms um, that the chain of command, uh, working outside of the bounds of the law, and there's so much. So we're just waiting for a response to that evidence, that new evidence, that's hard evidence. But um, and don't forget that in his own handwriting or signed document that Thomas Kane compared Richard's case with Vanessa Guillen's, and then on audio says Richard was a good meal for the coyotes. Um, yeah, that is huge breaking news, and I think that is really important for Major General Eisenhower to address, because it is his under his command as of right now, for him to address it. That's his job. And we know that, and I've been reporting it over and over and over again, the breaches of security. If unregistered weapons can be all over the place on Fort Bliss, if narcotics can come in and be all over the place and establish a marketplace on Fort Bliss and even in the barracks, um, there is a security problem. And we have major equipment there. We have major weapons there. And so, if there's going to be a security issue when it comes to narcotics, when it comes to human trafficking, we know that when it comes to unregistered weapons, then it is not unreasonable to say that there is weapon smuggling and um, ammunition smuggling and equipment smuggling. And because of this criminal activity, then you have a very low morale. And that low morale then um, causes the sexual harassment, the sexual assaults, the PTSD, the suicides, the murder suicides, the domestic violence, the violence of children, the rise in child pornography, and all pornography is child sex trafficking. We know that, um, and so one begats the other, and we have a real mess, and we have then a national security threat. It's and it starts with, we think, the director of emergency services being compromised, and I allege in a criminal conspiracy to be up to no good, to be up to no good. Um, exactly. So that's some new evidence. We have some more new evidence that happened 2 days ago. Still trying to um, get more information and wrap my head around that information. And, there are people that don't want that information to get out, that Leilani Hart, allegedly, seemingly, apparently, um, engaged in prostitution and, um, and maybe even worse than that. Um, but we have it in public, these are public. This is public information that she was engaged in threesomes in her marriage, and it's worse, and it's even worse than that. So we know that there is a sexual cult problem with all of that, and we know through witness testimony that Dallas Hart had a problem with child pornography. We know that, and so Leilani Hart's notarized complaint that was accepted by the FBI of child pornography testimony and a 7-year-old being sexually assaulted in her master bedroom by multiple members of her household. Um, you know, all of this corroborates. The evidence is corroborating a huge criminal conspiracy motive, to hide these felony crimes. These are felony crimes, and if people like Richard were reporting on it, that would be motive to hurt him. That would be motive to stop him, to shut him down. And our experience, 3 years of the retaliation that we have gotten to shut us down. We don't even have the eyewitness testimony that Richard had, right? We have some now, of course, but at the very beginning when we didn't have that experience and all of the evidence, they automatically started putting forth a false narrative. When we didn't accept that, then of course the bullying started, the bullying, the retaliation, the vile, vulgar messages. The closer we got, when we received the key witness, the vile and vulgar messages, the lies, the stealing of identity, absolutely increase. The closer that we get, the more attacks that you will see um, on Team Farm Richard Halliday. Um, and today it's not going to be any different because we've gotten even closer now with the audio of Thomas Kane. That is going to shake things up. And of course, this testimony of this very brave widow, um, to help because who wants a society around them that engages in child sex trafficking, that engages in the production of child pornography and the sale of it, um, to do a very dirty hypnotic trick on people. We're all weak. We all have weaknesses, and that's why, God says to focus on the good, the noble, the trustworthy, the praiseworthy, do that in your life, because if you surround yourself with the nasty things in life, then, it rubs off, and it's not a good thing, and it makes the world a much worse place. And so that's why we need to get the accountability, and we need to stop the child sex trafficking. We need to stop the child pornography. We need to absolutely hold them accountable for those felony crimes. And so to have more and more witnesses, and we're gaining witnesses every day, um, to come out and say Leilani Hart confirmed that her son was involved in Richard's disappearance and murder is very significant in all of this. To once again, this convicted criminal to be, because Leilani Hart is a convicted criminal. She is just a person that just wants to cause a lot of chaos and hurt in everybody's lives that she gets near. Um, And so, and it's, I've heard that from so many people. And um, so for her, we need to stop that. We need to hold her accountable. And the thing is she has a lot of people protecting. Why? Because of this cult ring, because of implicating so many others in these felony crimes. Um, it's, the truth will come out, it will all be revealed, and we'll get to the bottom of this. So we have information, witness testimony that Leilani Hart is absolutely collaborating with Felix Valenzuela. So Felix Valenzuela, um, uh, seemingly, apparently, Felix Valenzuela, well, 100%, he is a defense attorney for Patrick Crusius, right? Why is he the defense attorney for Patrick Crusius? And remember that there is a common denominator, and the common denominator is the LDS, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons. So the Mormons are a very common denominator here. And, why is he the defense for Patrick Crusius? And, and also collaborating with Leilani Hart. And, and there's more, and there's more. So he's a central figure in getting to the bottom of the August 3rd, 2019 Walmart mass shooting case. And he is a central figure in getting to the bottom, getting justice in Richard's case. Okay. If we find one, we will find the other. And it's very interesting because in Richard's case, um, the key suspect is Dallas Hart. Okay, that's the key suspect. Of course, Leilani Hart is another key suspect. Of course, Tavita Nusa is a key suspect. Of course, Jay Paulin is a key suspect. So I want to really emphasize that there's many. James Hart is a key suspect um, in Richard's case. Um, but it is interesting that Dallas Hart, being a key suspect in Richard's case, has a birthday on August 3rd, and that coincides with the day, August 3rd, of the mass shooting at the Walmart. Okay, that's pretty interesting, and it also uh, because these two cases are like a Gordian knot, right? They are connected. And if you find the answer to one, you will find the answer to the other. And so, all eyes are on Dallas Hart, Leilani Hart, James Hart, Jay Paulin, Tavita Nusa, and those connected, of course, with 3905 Bliss Avenue, which is absolutely connected to the Walmart mass shooting case. Um, you have to look uh, for who was helping Patrick Crusius. Um, and the narrative out there has not included that Patrick Crusius is on the autistic spectrum. And we receive confirmation that Patrick Crusius is on the autistic spectrum. What else do we not know about Patrick Crusius? What else did we know that his father was writing, or did write a book about mind control? And so, what else do we not know that's not transparent from the district attorney's office, the prosecutor's office? He's prosecuting Patrick Crusius, okay? And, our courts, just like the divorce court, They are open because we are a democracy. You know, the reason why we spend so much money creating all of these records is because we are an open society. We have the right to see these open records. We have the right to know what is being tried, who's being tried, for what are they being tried, and this is the transparency that of a healthy country, right? Of the Department of Justice in a healthy country. And when things start being covered up and not available, then you know that there is a problem and the country is not healthy. I hope that makes sense. So, what else have we not been told about Patrick Crucius? Because out of our experience, my experience, and I've been speaking to other people that have more experience with autistic individuals, um, they are, I guess you could say there would be three ways to respond to August 3rd, 2019, if you were autistic. And, what we have seen in Patrick Crucius is pretty much just a schedule. If you can just keep him on a schedule, he'll do okay. He will just, be inverted and he will be okay. And you won't see too much reaction. But not all autistic individuals act that way, right? But we see that with Patrick Crucius and his when he's on camera, right? We see that he is just pretty um, unmoved. He's just totally unmoved about the situation at hand, right? But that's not the case with all. And I think that if uh, someone else um, was involved in it, and we absolutely know that Patrick Crucius was involved. We have him on video. Um, he's absolutely been found guilty, and he's going to serve back to back 90 life sentences. But that's in the federal court. I don't know why that you have a state court too. Isn't that enough that he's going to serve 90 life sentences back to back? I don't know why they still want to, milk the public for more money and keep this going, other than that it is connected to Richard Halliday's case. Okay. Other than that, um, it, that is our suspicion, is that they have to keep the state case open because it is and they have to just keep it going without anything. Um, they don't even have a court date, right? And they're just keeping it going because of Richard's case. That's our suspicion. And we have wanted to prove that suspicion or disprove that suspicion with the open records request, and we're still waiting to get those open records from both the Patrick Crucius case and Richard Halliday's case. And, that's not just for us to get. Anybody can ask for them. So if you are curious, and, we have $150,000 for information leading to finding Richard. If you're curious and you want to go through the requesting of all the money spent on Patrick Crucius' case and Richard Halliday's case and attempt to break this case and receive $150,000, then you can absolutely request it. It's pretty easy to do through Amy Schnotty's um, office right there at the office of the governor of Texas. because just follow the money, right? Follow the money, and I think we can break this case. Um, where what has been spent on the Patrick Crucius case, what has been spent on Richard's case, on who were the expert witnesses, who are the witnesses being protected. There's all kinds of information in those open records, and so it's really a good way to break this case. So and it's the only explanation really for the problems that the August 3rd Walmart mass shooting case is having. And that is showing up in the news right now because the ninth prosecutor has resigned. One died, but the ninth prosecutor has resigned. Her name is Loretta Lynn Hewitt, and uh, Miss Hewitt um, is just very, very talented. According to our research, she has a lot of history in conducting these kinds of cases. More, she even says that in one of the articles, that she has more experience with these mass shooting crimes than anybody in District Attorney Bill Hicks's office. Anybody. And that's why she's from San Antonio. And that's why he hired her. He hired her to come up and in a January article that we've been looking at all of this, he even said that he hired her to take over the August 3rd Walmart mass shooting case. And the problem is she alleges now by putting in her resignation, the reasons for the resignation is that information was being kept from her, and that one of there's there's two people, but one caught our eye, and that is the assistant district attorney, John Briggs. Now we have open records request for all the communication from the assistant district attorney John Briggs through other facets of this case. So for his name to come up in Loretta Hewitt's allegations that he's up to no good, he's interfering with the Walmart case. And if he's interfering with the Walmart case, you have to understand that these two cases are like Siamese twins. They're like a Gordian knot. So if he's interfering in the Walmart case, he's interfering in Richard's case, in our, with all of the evidence that we have. So, and of course, he would then be working together. And we do have information coming in that the assistant district attorney allegedly, John Briggs, seemingly, apparently, has been colluding with Felix Valenzuela. And that information coming in, I'm only mentioning it to you because it's like, of course, duh, if Felix Valenzuela is colluding, and we have witness testimony that he was colluding with Leilani Hart, and he's up to no good with 3905 Bliss Avenue, 3705 Bliss Avenue, and he's this is this mortuary affairs connection plus the Leilani Hart connection, plus the Danae Katzen connection, plus the Belen Rocha connection, and their families, Tanya Katzen and Lydia Ortega Rocha, and Eddie Rocha, of course, and more, right? And then, you have uh, this the West family connection in all of this, and absolutely it is. There's no doubt about it. There is a connection. Then of course, then Felix Valenzuela is compromised, and if we have um, information about John Briggs being compromised, some kind of it's kind of like these generals working that have betrayed us, working for foreign and domestic enemies. I don't know. Could a assistant district attorney work for foreign and domestic enemies of this country? That's a question. Maybe someone can answer that for me. But so this um, assistant district attorney John Briggs, he needs to come out because um, there is absolute suspicion. And when I'm saying it on a live stream, I'm not just coming out here and just popping things off. This is with years of investigation that Felix Valenzuela, with Bob Moore, with Assistant DA John Briggs, have a lot of questions to answer because of the history of complaints of interference in both cases, the Walmart mass shooting case and also Richard's case. The lack of transparency. If the community of El Paso has not been told, and I believe they have not been told, I don't know if I'm one of the few people telling people that we have confirmed that Patrick Crucius is on the autistic spectrum. Why is that a secret? It's kind of like, oh, the FBI found your son in Mexico. Shh, shh, shh. Why is that a secret? I think that is very, very important information because that breaks the narrative that they've tried to give us right now that Patrick Crucius acted alone to shoot up in a Walmart and had a manifesto that happened to be a political manifesto, right? That this was politically motivated. This was a white supremacist, a MAGA, that already put red flags up for me. Okay, because this was going into an election year. Absolutely, life was good, and so how are you going to try to win politically when your opponent has made life pretty good, right? Because people don't want to vote against someone that has made life pretty good. So, I think the writing is on the wall there saying this is a politically motivated attack. And that is the narrative that it's politically motivated. But for who, really? For who? Who did it help? Right? Who did it help? And so I think the questions really that this new information that we have confirmed that Patrick Crucius is autistic, um, it's like, okay, who is helping him? Who is helping him? And this is oh, autistic people don't need help. No, no, we have millions of parents that will say, no way, no way. Um, and I will tell you, out of all of my experience with parents and children and students and education and everything. The parents that ask for help desperately, desperately ask for help, that need help, that are willing to just absolutely work with you to get any help that they can, are parents of autistic children, autistic individuals. They are the ones that cry out for help, absolutely, more so, more so than Down syndrome parents, more so than ADHD or whatever. Even though that might be considered spectrum, they're doing all these researches. Anyway, but the parents that were like, someone's got to help me. I don't know what to do. That really, really are at their end, as far as their nervous ends, just don't know what to do. Um, and I'm very fortunate to have friends that has succeeded, have succeeded, and uh, in the very difficult task of helping their autistic child to succeed in this world. Okay, it's a difficult task, and I happen to be friends with someone that has succeeded, still working on it, but absolutely, it is a very difficult thing. They need help. They need help. They just can't carry out something like that. Um, and the aftermath where he's going and buying fruit, or the before where he's going and buying fruit and then he comes back, and all of that is just really indications of autism. And you know um, I just think it opens up those questions. And because we are an open Department of Justice, that we do have records that we can ask for open records and get them, and our courts are open where we can walk in and watch them. Um, we need to scrutinize, we need to ask questions. And so for me, in order to break the Walmart case, because that would break then Richard's case, because they are connected. They are connected. That's why I'm interested in this case, and I'm interested in Richard's case. And I think if we, Team Find Richard Halliday, break one of the cases, we will break both of them. And so, who my question is, and I'm absolutely allowed to ask questions, is I believe that Patrick Crucius had help. And the people that helped him are people that are involved in my son's case, that were up to no good, that um, kidnapped him, tortured him, and murdered him. Though that's my suspicion, and that's why this is really important to put together. And that assistant district attorney. Now, I'll tell you why John Briggs, um, what has come up in our son's case behind the scenes. There's so much going on behind the scenes. And, I come on here and I speak for, an hour, I guess, or 30 minutes to an hour and a half or whatever. And, it's never enough time because there's so many facets to this. But uh, John Briggs was also in Yvonne Rosales' team, and there were allegations and there were problems with that. And a couple weeks, I think it was a couple weeks, somebody correct me, but I believe that Yvonne Rosales wanted to fire him, or fired him, John Briggs. And so that's why this kind of came up, because, to fire someone, You have to have really good reason in that office. I think so. I think you would have to. And so, what is he up to? That's why he was part of the open records. What is he up to? And now we have a very established, very well respected, so much so that they would bring her in, Loretta Hewitt from San Antonio, to take charge of this Walmart mass shooting case. And then for District Attorney Bill Hicks to backpedal and lie, really lie about, that he is first chair in all of this, when he is caught in previous articles saying, no, um, Miss Hewitt, we have brought her in to lead this case. So, and then for her to make allegations. So, this is why she resigned. She's making allegations against not getting access, not having access to her own case. Okay? To her own case. She doesn't have access to it. And if she's working on the Walmart mass shooting case, she's working on Richard's case. They are intertwined. They are, so, there is interference by John Brigg, according to not me, but the previous DA, and this some other documents that are out there, and of course Loretta Hewitt, who is very experienced, um, and she's now resigning, the ninth prosecutor to resign. So I think that is very important information for us to understand, and I'll repeat it and repeat it until we can understand it, because I believe there is huge suspicion that John Briggs, the assistant DA, with Felix Valenzuela, with Bob Moore, were up to no good in both the Walmart mass shooting case and Richard's case. And these are big players. These are big players that can sabotage justice. Okay, they can absolutely sabotage justice, and I think that is, a huge concern. And so for that, letters went out, and more letters went out, and of course, Governor Greg Abbott, he has to make some decisions on all of this, right? And of course, Eisenhower has to make decisions on all of this, um, because I believe that whoever helped Richard whoever helped Patrick Crusius, um, um, is uh, was was very, very closely connected to Fort Bliss. Okay. And I even question the weapons. I think the weapons absolutely need to be questioned because of the security breaches on Fort Bliss. And so we definitely need a different charge of the Walmart mass shooting case. We need a different charge. And the person that could do that would be Attorney General Ken Paxton. He could take over this case from Bill Hicks. And what are they waiting on? What are they waiting on? Because as soon as they uh, get to the bottom of this case, and I think, um, yeah, it's such a botched case, and you know, you're really messing with justice here, because Patrick Crusius is absolutely guilty. But now, because they've been running this botched case, it's going to be terrible. Um, all the things that come from this. So we really do need, um, for justice sake, I think, I think that Ken Paxton, he is legally capable of taking over this case. So I think that that would be, that Walmart case, which it would be Richard's case, right? It would be Richard's case too. So, okay. Yeah, that was really all the things that are on my list. I wanted to talk about all the witnesses. The beautiful, wonderful cashier. Um, Absolutely do not forget about her. And I want to thank the new witness because, the more that we are, the better. And, you know, to be a whistleblower, to be a witness, you have to stay strong. You have to stand firm on your faith. I am serious because they will go through your life with a fine tooth comb. They will go through, the way you look. They will go through anything. And this criminal syndicate, this criminal gang of bullies, absolutely bullies, they have people in very important positions that can provide information from your personal files. Okay. And they do not blink an eye to steal your identity. They will steal your identity. They will look through your files and find anything they can against you, and they will, threaten you with it. They will do other things if they can't find anything. They couldn't find anything on us, um, that they thought was noteworthy, or something that they could um, use to stop us from wanting to find our son. Um, and they tried everything, and they tried everything with Robert. Remember our son Robert, when they were really hounding him, and I don't know if y'all remember this, but they did. They really hounded him. And he's like, "Mom, um, I can my alibi is so tight because I and and this is what was so funny. Um And I was like, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Because at that time, twice a day for 7 years, Robert, every day except for 1 week a year, was teaching Bible study. And that, excludes the weekends. But, this was during the week. We got a call. No, I didn't answer that, Mom. I was teaching the Bible study, and I'm like, yay, yep, that's right, and they couldn't say anything, and I just think that they were gnashing their teeth, and they were like, you know, but they just tried to find something, and everybody has something, and they tried to, and if you do have something, this is how they can control you. And this was the beauty of these whistleblowers, is that they're like, okay, I know we all carry baggage, and they will come after the baggage, to stop you from being a whistleblower. And they'll even go to people that you love the most in life, all these people that we love, and they'll come after, and they'll do the most horrible things and try to threaten and steal their identity and steal your identity and all of that. um and yet, you I felt like, and my husband felt like, and Team Find Richard Halliday, that we would just plow through. And that's what uh the whistleblowers have absolutely done in this, is just plow through. And God does the rest. God does the rest. You put forth just think of this active duty soldier. He put forth while he's on active duty, just so vulnerable, his concerns, and they jive with um, our other key witnesses in all of this, and the brave widow, of course, the new one, and her very brave stance, which is was very hard. I can imagine was very hard for her to do, but what a wonderful thing she did for her family. What a wonderful thing she did for her family. And even if we get, I felt this way lately, in everything that we've been through, we've gotten so close in our family. We've gotten so close. Um, it's really amazing when you stand firm, uh, even with all the hits. Even with all the hits, if you stand firm together, you become very close, and you learn how to be fearless of these bullies, and the things that they can dish out. So I think that's really important to tell everybody that there are a lot of false narratives out there, and we try to be as genuine, absolutely as genuine as we possibly can be, and tell you the truth. And today it is by using evidence of an audio of Thomas Kane. And we're waiting. We turned it in, and um, the request for steps to move forward. How do they want us to move forward with this evidence? And even even that they're not trustworthy, we're still trying to be law abiding, and do things the right way. So um, that is huge news. And then this John Briggs, write that name down. John Briggs seems to be interfering in the cases. And of course, Felix Valenzuela, uh, interference. So, which is obstruction of justice, which is, there's so many laws being broken. So these are botched cases, and if Patrick Crucia's case is a botched case, and it is, then of course Richard's case is a botched case. And if Richard's case is a botched case, then the Walmart mass shooting is a botched case, because they are absolutely connected. So I hope that makes a lot of sense uh, for you there. So thank you so much, everybody. God bless you, Rose, Mitzi, Anicia, Danielle. Uh, Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your love, and we love you. And we will be back tomorrow. Um, yep, God willing.